Enoch Burke here. I'm standing outside the Bank of Ireland branch in Castlebar, County Mayo. When I left my workplace today, Wilson's Hospital School, at about 5:30 in the evening, I checked my bank balance and this is what I found. €0 in my bank account. I have been robbed of €40,617 by the courts.
This is beyond belief. This is Enoch Burke, the teacher, the Christian teacher, who has been to prison several times now after he refused to use a they-them pronoun for a student that wanted to be trans at the school that he works at. And now he has suddenly had, it seems like with no warning, no explanation, 40 grand, all of his money taken out of his bank account. What is going on here?
Judge David Nolan, Mr. Rossa Fanning, the Attorney General, and the government all working hand in hand. These people are millionaires. They're driving out of the forecourts in their big cars, but they're vultures sniffing around now to take from me everything I own, to strip from me every asset I have, and to look for anything that I might have that they can take away. That's what these people are doing.
All of this because this man refused, because of his Christian beliefs, to call a child they-them pronouns, and with the new name that they had chosen after becoming trans, supposedly. This is unbelievable. Like, a smack on the wrist for this is bad enough, but literally all of your money taken away from you and then thrown in prison multiple times, attempting to take all of his assets from him. This is the price that people have to pay for misgendering someone? What the hell is going on?
We know it all goes back to the fact that in 2022, I was demanded by Principal Niamh McShane to promote transgenderism in the school where I worked. A demand made by that principal, Niamh McShane, still a principal in a school down in Cork, a demand that should never have been made and should not be made today, because there is no shred of legal authority for that demand to be made. But of course, the Minister for Education, Norma Foley, now the Minister for Children, when she was confronted by my family, or asked by my family when I was incarcerated about this issue in 2022, she ran away. She was telling the public lies, saying that this wasn't being taught in schools and classrooms, that it wouldn't happen, but of course it did happen. And the Department for Education is dealing illegally in this matter. The current Minister for Education, Helen McEntee, she is dealing illegally in this matter. And that's the whole problem here from the very beginning. When you go to court, the judges are running out the door. They will not deal with this issue. And it's very sad to be in that state in the country where the judges are telling lies, where the government's working along with them. And of course, we now know that we've got very bad, we've been told now today that, the country is going to have a great recession, tens of thousands of jobs to be lost, maybe a lot more than that, hundreds of thousands. We're being told this by Pascal Donoghue. He's telling us that hard times are coming. You know why? Because he's not fit to rule this country. We know they went to America. There was a lot of spin, but the Americans, it didn't go down well with the Americans because they could smell, I would say, simply the spin. Pascal Donoghue is looking to Europe now, but he's defying God and the rest of the government. Micheál Martin, Helen McEntee, they're defying God in this country. But righteousness exalts a nation. Righteousness, giving people their just liberties, giving them their due, giving them the right to live uprightly and morally and righteously. That is what exalts this nation. And it's a shame that the church has been silent on this matter, hasn't stood up and exalted God. Our religious freedom is being taken from us in this country. So that's the situation as it stands now tonight. €42,000 and more taken from my bank account, every penny stripped from me.
Poor guy, left with no money. You saw that. €0 in his bank account. Presumably his family and friends will hopefully be able to help him with some money to get by. But I mean, to just be stripped of 40 grand like that just because you misgendered someone is beyond belief. So the Enoch Burke situation, if you guys haven't been following it properly, so he misgendered a pupil, as you heard there. Pupil wanted they them pronouns, but it's against his beliefs as a Christian. That's why you hear Enoch saying in that video there that he's frustrated that the church is not standing up for people in his position and talking about this, and that religious freedoms are being taken away. We've just had here in England, we have had an NHS nurse, you guys may have seen, is now in trouble. She might lose her ability to practice. She's been given a final written warning and is being investigated by the Nursing Council because she refused to refer to a transgender paedophile who was coming from prison for an appointment. She refused to call him with girly pronouns because he came in from a men's prison and he was there to have a male issue, a urinary tract issue with his male parts to be looked at, right? So she was speaking on the phone to one of her colleagues about this guy's issues, and she used male pronouns when talking on the phone to her colleague to be clear exactly this is a man's issue, not a woman's issue that we're talking about here. He overheard the phone conversation and went absolutely furious, called her the N-word 3 times, lunged at her, nearly, assaulted her. But who's the one that gets in trouble? Her. Because that she said, sorry, because of my Christian beliefs, I will not be able to use those pronouns that you want me to use. It's genuinely insane, the world that we are living in. But, Enoch Burke, his case has been a bit controversial because he was given a court order saying you cannot go back to that school that you worked at, you need to stay away from it. But sort of in protest, presumably, he kept on going back to the school. So because he breached that court order, he ended up getting thrown back into prison, and apparently this 40 grand that's been taken from him, these are fines for breaching the court order. So a lot of people say, he was an idiot for going back to the school and breaching his court order, but some people say, good on you for, not giving in to the court order. That was absolutely ridiculous. You did nothing wrong. So there we go. But that is the crazy situation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Please subscribe to Reason if you haven't already.